Hello beautiful ones, Lorian here with your reading for What Are They Thinking? Now normally that's a question for, the ages I suppose. How do we know really what somebody is thinking? Miscommunication can happen all the time. Now this was something that was inspired by the upcoming Mercury retrograde, but is absolutely nowhere limited to the Mercury retrograde. So this is whenever you see this video and you feel called to watch it, that is where you're meant to be seeing it. It's kind of a universal thing. There is no time limit to this reading. So as you can see, we have 5 piles here. We have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4 and pile 5. Now I did want to do some kind of colour therapy maybe with you a little bit as well. So we have number 1, if you are drawn to green, this Viridian green, maybe that's something that you feel drawn to. If you want the rose madder, which is kind of red, you can tell that I'm an artist, right, as well. And then we have this blue here. Pile 4 is lemon yellow, or just a beautiful yellow, actually, it's so bright. And then we have, I don't know, it's Chinese white, but it's just white to me. Okay, so there we are. We have all these piles. If you want to connect with either the number or the cards that you see or the colours or a combination of all 3, just clear your mind, take a few moments. I will be taking a picture of them as well, just so you can take maybe 10 seconds just to see which one you're drawn to most, and then we'll go on into the reading of what are they thinking. So just take a breath, make sure that your intuition is kind of drawing you towards some place, and I will start with group 1 and the green. Hello group 1. So in this question, what are they thinking? You would have chosen the green, paint, the Viridian green, which is one of my favorite paints to work with as well. So I'm just going to be using these cards. If we need to, I'll also pull some more, but let's just have a look. Oh, empowerment. Okay. 2 of summer. Creation, dreamtime, nice. So the tarot cards. Oh, you pulled a lot of these. Wow. Ace of Hearts, Queen of Hearts, 8 of Hearts. So those are all cups as well. You've got a lot of pink here, and I was actually going to say the green is to do with the heart chakra. And then you have the 8 of Pentacles, and then we have yes, just say yes. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay, so let me just pause and take a breath and see what's coming through for option 1. Okay, well, it's clearly something to do with love, that's for sure. There's such an amazing feeling coming through here. I mean, I feel like what they're thinking, what are they thinking, is very much romance focused, very much to do with the heart. They have been confused, because this comes up when people have been confused about whether to say yes or no to an opportunity, or just to something that they've maybe thought about before, whether to go forwards with something, whether maybe, I mean, in some cases it's when somebody wants to propose, but I just feel like somebody wants confirmation. This person wants confirmation from somebody else that they can go forward. They have the permission to do something. They have the permission to pursue somebody or something, because there's a lot of heart energy here, and I feel as though they've been working really, really hard, so they really want a payoff for this effort. They really want something that they can feel emotionally contented by. They are very much in the heart. Now sometimes I feel like they can't say boo to a goose. I feel like they can be very people pleasing, so this is very something that they may have struggled with, assertiveness, but we do have empowerment over here. So I think that they will be getting their strength back. They'll definitely be moving into a place of more, I want to be in control here. I also, looking at these, they are very much in their dream space. They are potentially a water sign, to be honest, with loads of all this all this thing, they have a romantic edge to them, and I think their feelings are transmuting into their thoughts, so they don't have much logic going on at the moment. They're just paying attention to what their heart wants, which can be really, really good. It can be really positive. You know, it can be something that if they're very much in their heart center, that can be something that encourages other people to come towards them, but they're definitely feeling that they want something or somebody to happen. They've worked hard for it. They want it to pay off. They want permission to go forwards with it. They want that yes, and they also want to be able to say yes to an opportunity. They want somebody to offer something to them. They want to be positive. They want to, and I think they are actually in the position of being positive. They want to think positively. They want to be encouraged, and I feel like they want to have an option to be positive. Two of Summer, this is definitely to do with a relationship. This is very much a kind of reconciliation of ideals. This is something that means that two hearts speak as one. I feel like, again, actually just reading this card, falling in love or making a serious commitment to somebody. So it could be somebody getting engaged, they're thinking about getting engaged, they're thinking about doing something that proves that they are more committed than maybe they have been perceived to be. They're proving that their heart's in the right place. They're proving that they are the right person. They want to be very committed to either an ideal situation, so there could be that the heart's in their position of work, or they want to be committed to a relationship. They want to see it through. They want to, if there have been any mistakes made, they want to remedy that. Forgiveness and the resolution of a problem, again, remedying it. I was just looking out the window and I was channeling those messages, so I wasn't even reading that. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. Yes, I do feel that there's something coming in here that's saying they want to try again, or they want to give something new a go. They want to try and pump something into this kind of energy that they may have missed before, you know. And like I say, green is all to do with the heart chakra. It's very healing colour. It's something that gives a lot of calmness and a lot of ethereal quality. And I feel like because, you know, green is to do with the earth, right? And we ground ourselves in the earth. Nature is healing. It's been proven that if you just stand with your back against a tree or with your feet on the grass, in about 10 minutes it can take away inflammation. You know, it can do all different things to your spirit. So I feel like it's going to do the same. You're being grounded by this other person, and whatever they're thinking seems to come forward as a very positive thing. They want to, again, empower the relationship. They want to empower something between you, and also empower themselves. The Eight of Hearts, I feel like they're worried about this, not that they are going to do it, but they're prepared to walk away from something that has no longer served a purpose, you know, or they've put a lot of emotion into it and it's just not going anywhere. This could be to do with a 3. So it could be that having to choose between you and another person, or they're having to choose between something that they have always wanted to do and actually something that they have now and that they really value. So it could be like, oh, I could move to Australia and do this business, or I could be with the person that I absolutely adore and love. So it could be about making some sacrifices, or just kind of getting rid of somebody like an ex or something like that, that they really, they put a lot of time into it, but now it's very detrimental. It's something that they don't feel very committed to anymore. But the Queen of Hearts and the Ace of Hearts, you know, you have a new beginning for sure with love, and you have a new potential for love. This could be you or them, you know, a Scorpio, Pisces or Cancerian person. But the Ace of Hearts and that, I do feel really speaks to possibility of newness, of regeneration. Your cup runneth over almost. It's kind of like you've been gifted this new beginning. They can't stop thinking about this person. So in the realm of being seen, if you are not a water sign, this would be somebody who comes across as very emotional, very genteel, somebody very empathic, and somebody who is very healing. Somebody normally in the creative arts. So this could be them or you or somebody that they're thinking about. but they're definitely wanting to move into a relationship. They are so wanting commitment. They are so wanting to, be involved. Now, there's lots of little different variations. So if you're asking about an ex, like what are they thinking? And they want to, this may not be that they're necessarily coming back in for you. There could be another person on the scene that they're thinking about marrying. So, there's that variation as well. I'm sorry if that's the case. And that may be that they're willing to walk away from the energy that still resides with you. But I feel that's a very small percentage. Very small percentage, because for the most part the energy that I feel is just pure love. They are thinking of the future, they are thinking of being very open, and what would it be like to follow my heart for a change, what would it be like to put all my creativity into doing something that I love and doing something that makes me empowered, what would it be like to heal the relationships that I have maybe messed up in the past. What would it be like to say yes to new opportunities? What would it be like to, and on and on and on with this potential, with this something that's coming through for them. And I honestly believe that they are very much in their heart chakra, which is why you're getting a lot of this energy coming in here. But I do believe that there's so much love and there's an outpouring of energy and emotion that there could be something that they are yet to say to you, but this is all in their thoughts, all in their emotions, and it's really truly nice and pure. But thank you for watching. That's all the information that I'm getting at the moment, but feel free if you choose another one as well, or if you're drawn to another one, there may be additional messages in there as well. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching Group 1. All my social links are down below should you wish to get in contact with me. But in the meantime, let me know how this resonated with you, and I'll move on to Group 2. See you in a minute. Hello Group 2, so you would have chosen the red, which is Rose Madder. I use this a lot, to be honest, so this is just a replacement of what I had recently. But yeah, that's very much to do with the root chakra. A lot of people might think that it's, romance because we said rose, but really we did have a lot of romance in the last one, so I'm just going to be intrigued to see what comes through for Group 2. Alright, so shift your energy. This is how they're thinking, maybe what they're considering. Prince of Cups. So you could be dealing with a water sign. New beginnings. They're ready for something new. All right. Your tarot cards. Wow. Lots of fire here. So you have the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Wands. Maybe you could be a fire sign because you're on their mind. The Prince of Wands, so definitely a fire energy. You have the Empress, so maybe this is somebody significant for you. And finally, Warrior Woman. Ooh, okay. So let's have a look and see what information comes through here for you. All right. So, like I say, there's definitely a fire energy here, very much kind of coming through to me is very intense energy, and also something that feels a little bit like it's trying to get things going, get things moving, trying to keep up with stuff. So they're focused very much on keeping going, especially with this card over here, which is the Seven of Wands. This is about not giving up. So whatever it is, they're not prepared to give up on something. Maybe they're not prepared to give up on you, or there's something that they don't want to necessarily take, defeat on the chin. There may be something that they're trying to still evolve from or get over. But I do feel that there's movement coming in. They may be thinking of traveling, or they may be thinking of actually moving somewhere new. They could be thinking of moving somewhere that's, a fresh start for them, something that they want to really achieve. The Emperor, though, comes forward with a very strong feeling of this person, either in education, wants to go into education. They're thinking of all the lessons that they've learned. They're very practical minded. They seem to be very focused on doing what is right or logical, than what maybe be emotionally fulfilling. But also something here, I really do feel that they want to be very important. They want to have a very strong connection. So it could be that, there's an Emperor vibe with this person. Maybe they're very important to you, and that's why you are wanting to obviously hear about them. But there's something that's coming forward with a sense of emotion rather than logic, which may be kind of confusing them a little bit. So when they're stuck between emotion and logic, they go to action. They go to, what's my passion? What is my desire? What's my drive? What is it that really, really makes me feel alive? This is something that they've probably been dwelling on for a while. They want to act instead of just sit back and think and dwell and do all this kind of stuff. You may have inspired them to do that, actually. This is something that they really respect about you, no matter whether you're a male or a female or in between. You know, you are very much somebody who inspires them. But this is also something that they're asking themselves. Have they answered their deepest calling? Have they actually gone into themselves and think, you know, I really wanted to be a doctor, but I never could, so maybe I'll go back and do that. Or I really wanted to tell you how I felt about you, but I wasn't ready at the time, so now I'm going to come back and talk to you. Now, it may be worth having a look at some of the other picket cards about relationships that I have, but I do feel that in this one, what they're thinking is, I want change. They definitely want something new, something revitalizing. If this is somebody that you're already in a relationship with, I don't feel that they immediately want a different relationship. That's not something that I'm getting at all, but they definitely want something to change. They're feeling very stuck. I mean, here they have a new beginning on the way anyway, which is an excellent omen for them. But that's where their focus lies. They really do desire something to take hold of, make their own, put their passion into it, make sure that they feel very strong and boldened, and get something that's beneficial to them and possibly even you in the longer term, that's coming forward with a sense of, I need this, I need change, I need to shift my energy, as is this card, into new pastures. And even her, she's looking at the new land, she's breathing life into the new land, and I think that's where this person's feeling called to, someplace new, someplace where they can actually enjoy the fruits maybe of their labours, something that they really feel like they want to, you know, come forwards and be proud. They seem, if they do take on a little bit of this energy, it may be that they are not as, I want to say it in a nice way, but it's going to come off as blunt, so I'll just say it. They may not be as dedicated as another sign or another person. You know, for instance, when they go, ooh, shiny, and then they get kind of bored with that thing and they move on to something else. They'll be very, very impassioned by something at the start, and then as soon as they run out of steam, instead of stick at it, they'll go to something else, if that makes sense. And the sun's just come out, but I realise something's blocking the beautiful light here, so bear with me. There we go, that's a little better. So one thing that it was my yoga mat, by the way, if you were wondering what it was. So I do feel like there's a lot coming through here that gives you the sense of, you know, maybe that they are a little bit wanting to settle down a little bit more. Ultimately, though, they do want to shift their energy into something more grounded. I think where you see them not being as dedicated, where you see them being a bit, you know, distracted, that's because they're restless. They know that there's something that they can't dedicate their mind to. Maybe if they're in education, or they're very academic, or they're very bright-minded, it's because nothing really stimulates them long enough to continue on that path. But something about you seems to have inspired them, seems to have really set them going into a certain path. Or if not you, somebody in their life. But I'm thinking that's a very small percentage of you have actually, you know, not been the person to actually inspire them. There's only a few of you watching that may have that incident where, oh, well, it's probably their sister or, you know, a friend of theirs, because I haven't spoken to them in years. If that's the case, then that's something that I think that, you know, you'll discover as the reading goes on. But there's definitely a feeling of they want to have that chance. They want to take that chance. They want to be the fool and take that leap. Whereas maybe they would have been very, I don't know, just kind of moseying on along, never really having a focus and being quite distracted. I mean, with this one, they have the Prince of Cups. So this is very much of, or Knight of Cups even, because this, I think, again, it kind of harkens to, they're very restless, they're not really focused on anything, they don't dedicate themselves, because it says here, falling in love suddenly, being swept off their feet. They need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. So maybe it's something that they're like, oh, I want to, you know, learn from these emotions, I want to be somebody that I can be proud of. I want to show people that I love them and I care for them. So it could be, again, that you have been the catalyst by either leaving them, giving them a piece of your mind, leading by example, that this is something that you expect of them or should be expected of a person. So now I think they're actually understanding a little bit more about emotions rather than, and their emotions actually, because that's something that they haven't really understood for quite some time, their own emotions, something that they felt a little bit more dampened maybe, like, oh crap, yeah, maybe I wasn't listening to myself very much. That's something that's coming through to them now. It's kind of settled, it's sunk in, and they can act on that information that's coming through from, their inner self. I mean, and the fact that you chose the red, this is their root chakra, so this is very much to do with how they are behaving with themselves on the base level, something that they feel very strongly about. It may be something that they really want to work on to better your relationship with them, or just in general, because they realize how badly being restless is. But they are ambitious. They don't, lots of shadows now, the sun. But they're very, very ambitious. They seem to be very committed, and they seem to be incredibly positive. And they have a cheery disposition. Again, if it's the Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, they will naturally be very forceful, and they should be one, a very confident person. You do get, alleviations now and then. You get somebody who is more the shy, retiring type as a fire sign, but I do feel that for the most part there's a drive there, there's a dedication, and they are wanting to commit to this. They're not quite sure where to go yet. They're not quite sure where to shift their focus, but they know something new is about to happen. And maybe it's to do with romance. Maybe something like falling for somebody else is inspiring them to take charge and take the risk and just go, But I do feel that they want to shift their focus onto something that means more to them than maybe what they're doing right now. And I think that's quite telling, because they just feel very dissatisfied with where they are at the moment, and how they're interpreting things from other people may not be as clear as it would be if they had their focus sorted on something in particular. I think they can be very distracted by shiny things, so that could be something that you have inspired them to work on, or will inspire them to work on. But they're thinking that they want something new, they want change, and they're going to get it. So I hope that helps you. Do let me know in the comments below if that resonated with you. And if you do want to contact me, all my social links are down below in the description box. But thank you so much for joining me today. I really do hope this helped. If you chose another one, feel free to go and watch that as well. But in the meantime, I wish you the very best of luck. And I'm now going to go on to group 3. Bye. Hello, group 3. Welcome. Okay, so you chose this blue. So the blue is often to do with the throat chakra, so you could be experiencing some communication issues, stuff like that. But we'll have a look anyway for you. So, first card, be gentle with yourself. Maybe they're actually criticizing themselves too much. 10 of Summer, okay. Veiled, yeah. Nothing's very clear to them at the moment. They're very vulnerable as well. Oh, you had 2 of those. I think the other ones just had 1. So your tarot cards are the 9 of Swords, the Prince of Hearts, which is the Prince of Cups, the Queen of Swords, okay. Oh, and the 10 of Swords, right, okay. And then we have Anna, Grandmother of Jesus, which is seeding the light, laying foundations, and divine plan. So let me just have a look here. I just shifted the camera very slightly, just so you could see more of what was going on. Okay, so again, like I say, maybe there's some criticism, maybe there's some self-trash talk, going on with them, and I do see that. There's a lot of anxiety. They're not very sure as to what to do at all. They seem to be going over and over and over a situation in their mind, to be honest. They are very vulnerable, and I feel as though there's something that they want to say, but they can't quite communicate it. This has been a problem for them for a while, as far as I can see. This has been something that they feel very caught up in their emotions, so they can't actually process that from their heart chakra to their throat chakra. And this is something that we all have an issue with. It's kind of like our battle between our head and our heart, but we can't really voice or vocalize something that we truly feel inside. It can be very difficult for us to actually put into words something that we feel may make us more vulnerable in the eyes of others. So if we're already feeling vulnerable, that's going to be something that is, something that we try to get away from and try to restrict or restrain in that way. But I do understand. I honestly do understand if there is something that they are not saying and you're getting frustrated because they're not able to communicate. I swear I have cats on the brain. Communicate with you. I understand if there's a reason there why they're sort of being a little bit too inward, too introverted. Now, the Queen of Swords, it could be you. You could have an air sign quality about you. You could be air sign, rising, moon, sun, something about you is very intellectual. Whether you're male or female, by the way, this isn't, or anything in between, this is not actually gender specific. It's just kind of saying their focus on you. Maybe you have an air sign quality. It could be that they themselves are an air sign, and this is something that they struggle with because they're always in their head, so they can't really communicate how they feel. This is something I think that has been a problem of theirs for a long time, and for some reason they just never really were able to communicate on a fundamental level and learn how to do that. I feel also that, especially with this card here, I feel like they are understanding that they're not going to be a big deal. Maybe they did have ambitions, but for some reason they just don't seem to have accomplished everything they wanted to. It's almost like they're very dutiful, they're very sorry, my words don't come out right today. I think I'm catching what they have. They don't feel that they can apply themselves to anything other than what's expected of them. So I do feel that I think they want equality. They want them to be considered very much an equal part of somebody's life, or to have a very strong role within something. So they want to be valued. They want to be shown that they matter. And I think, it's because there's nobody more important than another. So one's role may be to gather a group every month and show support, like a support group. Another may be that they want to become a parent. It's not bigger than the other. Somebody's role is not bigger than the other. But I do feel that they've always felt to some degree lesser than. So what they're thinking at the moment is very misunderstood. They don't feel like they're understood at all. They feel as though people are taking advantage of their vulnerability, and this can cause some friction between other people. I feel like sometimes this could cause them as well to react rather than kind of take decisive action. So if they're annoyed by something, they will react to that. They will not go, okay, wash myself off that, dust it away, don't need that anymore, no thank you. They will try and reason things away. But this is what they want. They do want a happy ever after. They do want a feeling of contentment. They want what it says here, an emotionally fulfilling life. They want to have a contentment there. And again, something about the partner or being a parent keeps coming up here. Maybe they feel like they're not ready to be a parent. Maybe they feel like they're not ready to take on a huge role or a huge responsibility. They want to be valued, but I just don't feel that they are ready to do that, or something they're scared of the possibility of taking that on. I don't know whether it's you who have suggested it to them, but they're very much somebody who feels like, oh, I'm not certain of this. I'm really not sure where I fit into the grand plan of things. Now, what they seem to come forwards and saying is, they do need to be gentle with themselves, and maybe they're being too gentle with themselves. They're using that as an excuse to, oh, I just need to take a day. I just need some time. I need some space. I just need some kind of, you're expecting too much of me at the moment. I've got all this going on. I just need some space. That's the kind of vibe that I get from them. And honestly, it's very strange how people say I need space, and ironically, that space happens to be the exact height, width, breadth of you. So it's kind of like, okay, so you want my space, you want me to go away, basically. So I do feel like there's something that's coming in here that gives them this sense of justification to maybe have a little bit of, oh no, push away, because it makes them feel better. It makes them feel more comfortable that they don't have to deal with the issues. And they are very insecure. They, they have the Nine of Swords here. This is somebody who's going over and over and over and over and over and over and over about a situation in their head. And I feel like this is very detrimental to any progress. And I also feel like Ten of Swords, I don't know whether they feel betrayed or whether they're guilty about something or whether they feel like they've carried on something over the course of the past few years or past few relationships. But it just feels like they're very much, well, you sort your head out in your own time. You go over there and you come to terms with what I've just said or something like that. They can be quite, well, I can't explain it, so you'll just have to accept it. Now, I think that's, again, a kind of a 50-50 split, actually. Some of you who are thinking about a person, you won't recognise in that person, that's fine. But the other half of you may do actually see, oh, yeah, they can be like that. Very dismissive, very, no, not going to be doing all that. And really, you do have a lot of blue in this reading. So that does actually connect with this one as the throat chakra, needing to have that communication ability, but they just can't seem to do it. Now, it could be because they're very confused, and when they get confused, they get annoyed, they get very angsty, abstract, they just don't want to settle down to anything or commit to something that they're not really sure about. So I just feel like there's nowhere to hide for them, really. I mean, this is gorgeous. Vulnerability is kind of a wide open field. But if you're running through there, everybody would be able to see you. You wouldn't have a place to hide. You wouldn't have a place to kind of, say if someone was chasing you, you wouldn't have a hidey hole. You're very exposed there. And I feel like they do worry that their heart would be exposed if they actually spoke about what they were feeling. And that's obviously something that you'd have to kind of address with them. But I do feel that they want to take a chance. They want to be bold. They want to come forwards and go, here I am. I am going to sweep you off your feet, or I'm going to be really cool here, or I'm going to, yes. They just want to be proactive, but I just don't feel that they can do it. And what they're thinking is very much a case of, I am needy or I'm needing some space. I need this. I need to just take some time. I want this. I want everything that I, have desired for a long time, but I don't know whether I'm worth it. I don't know whether I'm worthy of it. I don't know whether I deserve it. I'm very, they're all over the place as far as I can see. And the thing that I want to say to you is if it's something to do with a romantic partner that you're asking about here, this has nothing to do with you. You are not responsible for this person's emotions or insecurities. I just want to lay that down right now. You are not responsible for this person's insecurities, because this has come from something that they've had for years. It's maybe that the situation that you've been in is very similar to a situation that they've had in the past, but that is not to be your creation. You have not done this on purpose. You have not done this to show them something. This is just life as it's gone. So I do honestly feel like if you have been given the blame game, if they've said, oh, it's because of you, I need space and blah, you're stuck, you're choking me here. That's not something that you want. Similarly, I think, again, for some of you, they've just disappeared. They've just gone and expected you to deal with it. So maybe it was like ghosting. Yeah, so maybe there's just something that they've just kind of gone whoosh, disappeared. And you're like, oh, hang on a second, what? This is because they're very, very convoluted in their way of thinking at the moment, and I do understand that they're vulnerable and they want to build up a wall. But at the same time they build up a wall, they want to break it down. And at the same time they want to break it down, they want to build it back up again. So until they can settle, until they can actually be sure about what it is they want to achieve and what it is they want to bring forwards into their life, you can't possibly find a place within that. So hopefully when they do get their things sorted, I mean, I don't know whether they will, because this is a very broad general reading, but if they do get themselves sorted, you will be included in that and actually be able to have an adult conversation with this person. But I hope that helps you, my dear group 3. Do let me know in the comments if this resonated with you. I look forward to hearing about it. If you want to contact me, all the details of my social links are in the description box. And of course, if you want to read in, all the information is down below too. I welcome as well your questions. For any future pick a card readings. I am making a list and I'm going down them as I go. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to subscribe, welcome. And thank you very much for joining me today. I'm going to move on now to group 4. Hello, group 4. Sorry, I just wanted to turn this around a little bit. And I apologise if you can hear some noisy machines outside. I hope you can't, but they have been doing garden all morning, so I cannot avoid it. But you would have chosen, getting into nicer things, you would have chosen lemon yellow, which is actually a beautiful colour. It looks quite pale on here, but it really does wash very nice. It's a very subtle, nice yellow colour. So that could be something to do with your solar plexus. So you could be having some worries about somebody in particular, about how they see you, or just a case of you need to have more pep in that way, more energy. But we'll have a look at what the cards say for you. So you have heighten your vitality. This is what this other person is thinking, but that's why you may be resonating with that card, with that pot of paint. Oh, princesses. There's a lot of cup cards in these, actually. So you have the princess or page of cups. And you have, ooh, celebration. Okay, and these are the tarot cards. So you have the chariot, the moon, we only have 3, and 6 of pentacles, and, whoa, sorry, we have protection. Okay. Deliberation is what I'm getting from this person. Very, very much deliberation. Very much wanting to go within and kind of almost be zen-like and meditate about what it is they want. I do feel that they can be quite, how to put it, deliberate in their messages. They're not somebody to just be superfluous and say, hello, how's the weather? You know, that's not them. They would, I think small talk is not something that they would like. But what they're thinking of is, I think, planning. They're in deliberation. They're very much wanting to kind of move forwards, but they're not quite sure which way to go. And because you didn't have as many cards as the others, I will draw some more just to clarify as we go through. But the Six of Pentacles in particular is drawing my eye simply because it's kind of saying to me that they are very much hoping for some kind of harvest to come through. They're wishing for something to be brought to fruition. You know, they want something to come forwards. But at the same time, I also feel that it's a kind of a thing of charity and giving. Maybe they feel like they want to be giving, they want to, you know, be somebody who is giving a lot but also receiving. They may feel as though that is imbalanced. That is kind of something that I think they want to work on. But the moon shows me that either they're very, very influenced by the moon cycles, they have heavy Cancer in their chart, or the fact that at the moment nothing is clear. They're living in a bit of a fantasy land, they're very in their emotions, their dreams are matching their reality, so they're getting kind of hung up on that. And I think this is kind of why they're deliberating. They want to do something, they want to have a purpose, they want to have somebody come through and kind of dance on the moon with them. I think there's a fantastical element with them that for some reason they're very hard, grounded cement on their ankles that literally roots them to the earth. Is being very counterproductive with them at the moment. I feel like work is a very big obstacle for them right now. They're thinking a lot about what they want to do or where they want to take their career. And also I feel like they just need to act without delay. They have delayed too long. And if it's something that you have been kind of waiting for them to act, or waiting for them to reply, or waiting for them to do something, I feel like you won't be waiting much longer for them to actually commit to something or surprise you with something. But their energy is just low. And I feel this is something because they're trying to convince themselves of something. They're trying to I think they're trying to protect themselves in a way, but that is something that's different in relation to this card. So the protection card brings forward this energy and that they want to protect themselves. They're currently guarding themselves from opportunity. So it's not just from people, it's from the actual possibility of failure. They are scared of failure. They are scared of doing something only to crash. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would feel the same. But this can be where they're very insular. This can be where their dreams seem to be at odds with what's around them, so they get frustrated and so they go within a little bit more. And I do feel that that can actually have an adverse effect on them. I do get Virgo with this person as well. Very heavy Virgo. But I do also feel like there's something that is piling on top of them. Maybe they're too much of a yes person. I think, yeah, they kind of give and give and give and give. And if somebody asks them a favour, they go, okay. They're very giving, they're very charitable. But oh, okay, so on the flip side, I'm getting somebody who's quite selfish as well. So somebody who's been too giving before, or maybe was giving a while ago, and now if you ask them a favour, they're like, nope, nope. And they just don't do anything for anybody. They can be quite selfish. So, swings and roundabouts, I suppose. But I think for the most part, that's a very small percentage. For the most part, they're very giving, they're very charitable, they are very sensitive. There's somebody who wants to dream and play and have this fantastical life, but there's a fear, there's a deep-rooted fear within them. And this will vary from person to person, but I do feel that they are really wanting to make a big deal out of something. They want to just go all out for something in particular. Now, it may be that somebody's birthday is coming through, or there's a big event coming in, or there's a reason that they want to celebrate and they don't feel like they can do it, or they're always the one to organise things, or they're always the one to do something. On the flip side, it could always be you that's organising everything, because I do feel that they can just be lazy. If there's too much to do, they can just go and just kind of ignore everything else. But I do feel that there is something that's kind of holding them back, and that for me comes across as being that I'm in control, I'm confident. So maybe this was actually for them. You know, this could be to do with their confidence and their inner peace and their self-esteem. Maybe they don't have a lot of that, and they're thinking that, you know, they're worried of people's opinions of them. They're very worried that somebody is going to come and impose their ideals or their ideas even onto them, when they just want to go forwards and take the bull by the horns and carry on and be very strong. Now, the one with this one, you know, this is kind of a new relationship or emotional experience, invitations to social events. I didn't even see this. So yeah, I think that they are wanting to plan something. They're thinking ahead of something that they want to plan. They want to make a song and dance out of something. Maybe it's their birthday, maybe it's somebody else's. But for some reason, I just don't know whether they're very settled in what's going to happen. It could be that there's a wedding coming up and they're like, yeah, okay, but... Alright, I'm just trying to filter through. For some of you, there's a wedding coming up that they're not sure about going to, whether they're the ones getting married, I don't know. But they're worried that it could mess with their plans. If it is them getting married, or if it is them, you know, attending something very big that makes them commit to something, they would probably be worried that it would, you know, end badly or restrict them, which is, I don't know why. It's kind of like as soon as you say the commitment out loud, it's kind of, oh, my life's over. I don't get that myself. But there is something that I think is very fearful about that, making that commitment and worrying about that. Or they're feeling like they only have to last until the celebration and then they can let their hair down. Because their vitality definitely needs to be released. I feel like they're having a very down day or down period of time, where they're desperately trying to find something that will give them more pep, really, and give them a bit more pizzazz, so to speak. So I'm just going to grab these cards. These are one-word cards, and I'm just going to see if there's anything else that they want to tell us about what this person is thinking. Time. So they're asking them in a weird way, to actually just spend some more time with themselves. I feel that this is again something that they're worried about. You know, if they make a commitment to something, or if they spend so much on something and then it fails, or if they, you know, don't get what they've actually invested in back, that could be something that they feel, oh, that's just been a waste of time then. But this says, you know, embracing the dewdrops of life before they disappear with the morning sun. It's kind of like appreciating the moments as they are now, and this is what heightening their vitality and dancing means. They want to have fun, they want to have a good time, but something's holding them back from doing that. And I do feel that occasionally it will be that selfishness, it will be that guardedness, but I think also that they wear their heart on the sleeves a little bit too much for some of them. Others, they don't do it half as much as they should do. So that's probably why you're at the reading anyway. Going, well, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? What are they actually doing? They're thinking a lot of stuff that, you know, they feel they're given too much. They've given too much to others. They want to plan something. So there is a charitable nature there. So they still want to do something. But I also feel that they want to be celebrated. They want to have a big deal put on them. And again, I do get this big event. Maybe they're thinking about something that's a big event coming up. But I do honestly believe that patience on their side would be the best port of call for them. When it comes to you, the kind of energy that I get is just kind of, all right, so I will repeat this phrase. How you handle them and how you're dealing with them is beyond comprehension, because I think that at the moment they're all over the place, their anxiety's up and down. They do seem the most, out of the reading so far, they seem the most erratic, I will have to say. The most, I love you, I maybe don't love you, or I deserve more, oh, I'll give you everything. That kind of weirdness that's very unbalanced here. They can have mood swings, you know. So yeah, again, it may be hard to know where you stand with this person, but I just feel that they're always thinking of the future and of themselves and how they fit into that future, and they have to get out of that pattern. But that's kind of where they're at for now. I hope that does help you though. Do let me know in the communication in the comments section below, and let me know if you have any questions to ask future picker card readings. I am writing them all down and I'm going through them bit by bit. If you do want to get in contact with me for a reading or anything else, all my social links are in the description box below as well. But in the meantime, my delicious group 4s, I hope this helps you. I wish you the very best of luck, and I'll read for you guys very soon. I'm going to go on now to the final group 5. Thank you. Hello, my last group, but by certainly no means least. You have chosen white. Now, if you've chosen white, this is quite a universal colour. In spirituality, or at least in witchcraft, if you don't have a particular coloured candle, you can use white. It's very much a thing that you can just utilize, but it's also very cleansing. That's why clear quartz, you know, that kind of whitish quartz and selenite is really good for cleansing your aura. So maybe that's why you were drawn to it, but we'll get into what your particular person is thinking. Hope and happiness. All right. Ace of Wands, really nice. Oh, you've got 2 of these as well. Emergence and grounding. Interesting. Keepers of the Earth. Very okay. So I definitely feel like you've got an earth sign involved here, or somebody who's very much salt of the earth, very grounded. 6 of Wands. Okay. Oh, wow. That's a really good combination. Okay. You know what? Out of all of the ones that I've done, this one feels like the most sorted person. Now some of you may be going, huh? I just felt like some of you just going, what? But to be honest, you know, maybe this is another one that you felt drawn to, and that might explain a little bit more. Maybe this is for some of you who are like, I'm very confused because the one I'm thinking of is not sorted at all. But for those of you who resonate, this person's just really sorted. They mean what they say, and they say what they mean. There's not a lot that I can see here. They could be a creative type. They could be very much an Aries type person. That's the energy I'm getting. Or they could be a Taurus. So around that time, but I do feel very strong vibes of just chill, fine, no big deal. Very much, like I say, salt of the earth. They could also have a little bit of a Scorpio vibe, or Leo. but I don't feel they're as needy as Leos can be. Now, not all the time, but the Leos can seek approval and attention. Scorpios, most of the time, don't need none of that. And so they just kind of go on by themselves. I can say that because I am a Scorpio. And they tend to push people away. But whoever it is that you're asking about, they are very confident. They think at the moment they're very in a good place. I feel as though they're happy with any decisions that they've made. They're happy with the direction their life is being taken, or they've come to terms with, and they're happy now with the direction or the solution. If it's somebody that you broke up with, either the decision they made to break up or your decision, they're kind of like, okay, well, I'll move on now. So if you're wondering if they were kind of missing you, I think on some level they would, but also they're just kind of like, well, you can't win them all, and then they're just kind of moving on. So I hope you're not too, not too hung up on that. But I do feel a lot of victory coming on. They're working hard on something, and also Spirit seem to be really supportive of them. They've got quite a lot of support from Spirit here. They're going through a transformation, for sure, which is requiring a lot of strength, but they have it in them. They have the commitment. They have the drive, is what I was trying to say. They have the drive to do what they want to do. There's no one colour here. Again, I'm saying that this is quite a universal colour. It is. There's no one theme. Maybe if you want to get pedantic, there's a little bit more purple than the rest. But there is something that's really strong in regards to, they just feel like they're seeing clearly. They're very open-minded to where this is taking them. They feel like they are prepared for things. And actually, I've just noticed in your numerology, or in their numerology, you have 2 8s here with the strength and the star, which is a really good omen. 8 is a really wonderful number. And then you have the death card, which is 4 total of 13, which is a multiple of these two. So it's even then, it's foundations, it's strength, it's building, it's transformation. So they're going through a lot, and I think they're absolutely fine with it. Their emotions don't seem to be all over the place. Maybe it's something that they're actually keeping in check and they're burying that a little bit. Either way, I do feel that they have a lot of inner core going on. They do have a victory coming through here. You know, they have very strong forward motion. I think they are willing to go for it, and also that's been buoyed by this card here, the Ace of Wands. So they are very much willing to do what it takes to have fun, do what it takes to move forwards, bound, leaps, wonderfuls. So I do feel that, again, it says fearless here, and I do believe that is something that they are fearless. They're wanting to do what it takes. The career opportunities, I feel that their career is taking off for them. So how they're thinking, maybe in relation to you, I just feel really confident, a lot of confidence, a lot of deep emotion, a lot of things that are going through their mind that say they're very comfortable where they are. And in relation to you, it feels like you have a good balance going on. If this is an ex, though, it just feels like they're fine. It just feels like they're just getting on with stuff. I do feel, again, that they're very much strong. They could either be a vet, or they could be somebody who is very spiritual themselves, going through yoga, going to a retreat. I think they're like traveling, or they're going to want to travel. I think they're thinking about travel, actually, because that seems to be coming up as not a definite. They're going to kind of try and find a place at the moment. But they are deliberating over, the next steps, but they're feeling very confident about whichever one they choose. So if you're actually asking about a potential interest, they're pretty damn sorted. They're thinking very positive thoughts. They're thinking very openly. I think they're happy, they're sorted. There's no big deals that they're going through at the moment. I think that they're kind of going, yes, I'm having forward momentum. The one thing that I want to pick out as well, actually, is these two, because you have dragonfly and tree. Now this is obviously the grounding sensation that they're having at the moment. They're feeling very rooted. So again, it could be very strong earth, but also you have the emergence, which I think is that they're just coming out of their shell. They're just starting to see the path that is laid out in front of them. So I think that you are joining them or thinking about them as they are going on a transitional phase. They may be wanting to see the world. They're very positive perspective at the moment. To be honest, if you have just embarked on a relationship with this person, this could be your influence. This could be somebody who's very much like, this is great. I'm really, really good. I'm so good. You know, it could be that they're feeling really in touch with themselves and very much yay. You know, the influence that seems to be coming forward and what they're thinking of is always positive. They're always thinking of the future. They're always thinking of the next step and being very committed and true to their path. And I feel as though this is just a very sorted, really, really nice, grounded person. I have to say, I'm struggling to find many issues. But the one thing is that they may be too comfortable, perhaps. They don't really want to shake things up too much. They don't really want to shake, rock the Casbah, because it might, change too much. They could be a little bit more adverse to change, so they're just going with the flow rather than actively changing their course or making alterations as they go. But they do seem creative, they do seem very much inspired, and something that they want to pursue is, I don't know, something very personal to them. It feels something that they may have had in the back of their mind for quite a while, and now they're just trying to navigate as to what that means. Again, they do seem to have supports here, ancestors, and here. They do seem to be very much about family. Maybe there's something to do with family that they're thinking about as well, because they have the two cards that indicate that there are people around them that are going to support them in spirit but also in physical form, but they're very important. Maybe their family history is something that they're going to look into eventually, but it's very, very important to them about family. They're very loyal here, but they're also very protective. They're going to be, if you mess with their family, they're going to be like, no. And they will feel very connected. They will be very content if they defend their family. And if, for instance, if you said, oh, your sister's very interfering, they would be very much like, okay, well, you just, kind of in a weird way said the truth, but also insulted my sister. Doof. That'd be it. And that may be extreme, but that's how loyal they are. And I think, honestly, if they have an interfering sister, you may be better off away from there. But there's a lot going on that I do feel that they are trying to navigate, but they feel good about doing it. That's the one thing that I feel is coming through most of all. If it's about you specifically, they're not thinking about you specifically. And I don't say that to be negative. I just say that they're very much happy with themselves. They're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about their own future. They're thinking about what they want to achieve. Whether you factor into it will be on an individual basis to your energy, which it wouldn't come through in a general reading. It could probably come through in a personal one. So this is more to do with how they're thinking. They're thinking of themselves. They're very much strong. They're very intense-minded, I'd say, about their things. So there may be a career-focused person or a goal-oriented person, somebody who has a goal and sticks to it and doesn't want to veer off the path. And they're very grounding, and they're very, I think they like winning, they like victory. So they may even be a sports person, they may be quite a competitive person, or they find themselves in competitive situations. Either way, I feel that they're going to actually ramp the energy up. They're not a bad person to be with. I have to say, they're not a bad person to be around because they do lift others up. They have a very close-knit circle of friends. They seem to be acquaintances with a lot of people, but the people that they trust and would defend to the death, I think, are very small. So I do feel as though if you were included in that, you'd absolutely be fine. This is a very sorted person, and they value loyalty, but there's just something that I feel like they're thinking of themselves. At this point in time, they're not being selfish, but they're just kind of focused on what they want, which I think is good because you don't want somebody who's namby-pamby all over the place, but also you do want somebody to afford something for you as well. So they're good, they're fine. I think it would require more in-depth personal looking, into their energies and yours if you wanted something more specific in relation to what is the situation, because they're driving me insane. But yeah, otherwise I think this is good. This is really strong, and I feel like they've got a good vibe. But I hope that helps you. I really do. Group 5, my last of the day. Let me know in the comments below if this resonated with you, and if you have any questions that you'd like to ask for future readings like this, let me know. I'm writing them all down and I'm going through them one at a time. But in the meantime, I wish you the best of luck. If you'd like to contact me or for a reading or anything else, my social links are down below. But I really do wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to reading for you very, very soon. Bye, guys.